Continue. Boom. Haha, so it'll be recorded for all of posterity. Team, thanks for being here. Hello, one and all, and welcome to Romantasy Roulette, where you pick the questions, we attach them to a d20, and our guests pray to the cauldron that their deepest, darkest secrets aren't revealed to our entire inner circle. This episode's guest star is the one and only Ren Johnson, which I am so excited. Ren, feel free to come on. Boom. Gang, it's Scary Red Riding Hood. Like, they came in so hard. If you don't know how D20s are used in TTRPGs, the only thing you really need to know is that when we roll a 1, we call it a nat 1, and nat 1s are bad. When we roll a 20, we call it a nat 20, and nat 20s are an automatic win for whatever situation you're in. Now, our only rule is that we have fun. So if there's any extra vulnerable questions any of our guests don't feel comfortable answering, all they have to do is wave a particularly extravagant arm and say, "Only the cauldron will know." So, Ren, are you ready to have all your deepest, darkest secrets revealed to the entire inner circle?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Thank you. In all seriousness, thank you so much for being here. Will you show us what you'll be rolling with tonight?
Yes, I got these dice at a convention. They're like red, but they're like see-through. It kind of looks like they have blood in them. So I figured it was fitting.
It's perfect. Everything about this is perfect. Yeah, that's amazing. Go ahead and give us our first roll.
Let's do it. We got a 6.
A 6. Perfect.
A 6.
What is the average? This comes from Aussie Angel in our inner circle. What is the average amount of time it takes you to get into cosplay?
Well, that depends. If it's just a book character where I'm just doing like full face makeup, putting on a lace front wig, whatnot, probably about an hour to an hour and a half. Some of the like anime cosplays that I do, those ones can be a little more lengthy if they have like excessive face paint or whatever, but I think probably the longest it's ever taken me is 3 hours.
3 hours.
I did Alistair from Hazbin Hotel. That one took a while.
That one, I was gonna ask. I was like, it had to have been one of those Hazbin Hotel cosplays, because I was like, that. I mean, we see it all the time, right? Like, I remember being in makeup chairs for a really long time. You know, you see the time lapse, just just getting fake tattoos for like a shot. I swear, you can be in that makeup chair for like 6 hours. It's
absolutely.
It's crazy. Awesome. Go ahead and give us our next roll.
Got a 13.
13. Stop leaving this page. Boom. 13. Caitlin wants to know, what was your very first cosplay? Do you remember?
My very first cosplay was Dobby from My Hero Academia. Give you the little rundown of why I started cosplaying. I was super into special effects makeup when COVID hit and we were on lockdown and stuck in our houses. So I got super into special effects makeup, and his character is burned like all over his face and whatnot, so I really wanted to attempt to do that. And at the time I had black hair, so I was like, wait, this could kind of work as a cosplay. So it kind of just blossomed from there, but yeah.
Wow. No, so you were super, so because that was a question I had. So you had a background in kind of makeup artistry before you started talking to this.
I've been doing makeup probably since I was like 11 or 12 years old. My mom gave me some little makeup kit that she like hadn't been using, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I kind of went off the rails, but
Mama Ren, we are so eternally grateful for you. Like, that's chef's kiss. That's chef's kiss right there. We're so grateful. Yeah, because we can tell. It's like you have an incredible skill to just change your face into any character. It is the coolest thing. I'm obsessed with it.
I try.
Yeah. Next roll.
We got a 19.
19. Ooh. 19, we've got we've got this one comes from Allie Scott. If you had a communion based on your personality, what would it be instead of bread and wine? So what would we partake of at the Church of Ren for communion?
This is such an interesting question. I don't know. I feel like wine works.
Yeah.
I love me some wine. I don't know.
Is there like a go-to food you have? Like just like your cosplay and it's like your go-to like munchie?
Honestly, not really. I hyperfixate on foods really bad. So I'll like be craving one thing and be like, this is my snack at the current moment. And then like after eating it for a couple weeks, I'm like, I don't want to touch that again.
I
But
love that.
at the current moment, I'm really obsessed with eating blueberries. Why blueberries? I don't know. But blueberries are my current hyperfixation food, so we'll go with blueberries and wine.
Blueberries and wine. You heard it here, gang. Like as if it can't get any better. It just keeps getting better with each question. That's really exciting. I hyperfixate like that with food too. Like I drive Maddie nuts because it's like it's like spaghetti with meatballs. And I just need that for like 2 weeks. That's all I want to eat, but then I'm done. And I just kind of jump from food to food. I am a menace. I'm a menace. It's crazy. Food hyperfixation's the bane of my existence, and blueberry wine is the best. Ooh, Moon, I have not had blueberry wine. Ooh. That's what's up. That's what's up. Next roll.
We got a 3.
3, okay. Boom. This comes from Lexi. Seeing as you cosplay Nesta so much, what do you think of a Court of Silver Flames? Oh, what do you think a Court of Silver Flames Nesta would say to Akatar Nesta? It's a great question, Lexi.
That is a good question. If we're talking like end of Silver Flames Nesta versus like beginning of Akatar Nesta, I'd probably just say it gets easier, is what she'd probably say to herself. Because obviously, she's having enough struggles when she's human, and she doesn't really know what's going to occur later. But just giving her that it gets easier piece of advice, so that previous Nesta, when she does go through that, she would kind of have that in her head.
But... Oh, I love that, and I love how it's like. It's so simple, and there's a bluntness and a simplicity that's also profound. That is text. That's canon Nesta. It gets easier. Like that's what she would say. 100%. Awesome. Next roll.
We got a 7.
A 7. For 7, we have this came from Anonymous. Do you have a favorite class for Baldur's Gate 3 / D&D in general?
Probably a rogue. I'm a rogue girly for sure.
Yeah, I hear that. Listen, gang, I made a bard. I am the bard defender until my last breath. Rogue class is the best class. Especially in 5e. Like, let's just be real. Nothing beats a rogue. Rogues win. I'm sorry, Aelin, fucking any video game that came out in the last 15 years, the rogues own everything. Like,
they're just always on top. They're superior.
They are always on top, 100%. Next roll.
We got a 1.
We've got a 1! We've got a 1! Yes! Oh,
honestly,
man.
I have been so excited to roll a 1.
Oh, let me see. Okay, hold on. I have a little thing in here, gang, because I'm flying solo here. I've got a little randomizer. So I have this thing. You all, I should have shared my screen because you all can't see what I'm doing. But we've got a bunch of. Okay, here we go. It's gonna randomize. Oh, I'm so excited. This is so perfect. What the fuck? This is, well, I'm gonna just drop this in the chat for you. So, gang, for those of you that don't know, on a Nat 1, our guest has to read a spicy line that are once again submitted by IC members. It's kind of a rolling collection of things, and people pop them in. These can be from the ACOTAR series. This can be from it's usually we try to keep it combined from things that like we've read, so there's no spoils. But this one, I had no idea this was gonna pop up. But here we go. This. So I'm just gonna pop this into the chat for you.
Oh. Absolutely. Okay. Gotta channel my inner vibe real quick. You're hot, Cupcake. So what'll it be? Man or woman?
Everybody go home. Everybody go home. That's it. That's the show. Thank you so much. Ren, you have an uncanny ability to make a Nat 1 feel like a Nat 20. Whom's put Arcane in here? I am deceased. Okay, listen, in all fairness, when I put that in the pool, I didn't realize like it would actually come up because there's so many of them that I was just like, that's a great line. I know it's my Discord. I can make the fucking rule. So I just like threw it in there.
It just had to be the one that popped up.
That's wild, gang. For those of you that don't know, I literally finished. I was up until 3 in the morning. I binge watched Arcane. It wild. I gotta stop getting emotionally devastated. There's not gonna be enough water left in my body if I keep getting wrecked like this. I'm like, you got to be careful. Like we're going through we're going through Throne of Glass. I've got Keeping Up with the Targaryens going on. We've got like these other like everybody keeps recommending me these emotionally devastating video games. I need cozy core right now, okay? Like I just need the cozy reads. I need things that aren't going to devastate me. Ren, I'm rambling. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Go ahead and give us a roll.
Got a 12.
12. Also beautiful work if I did not make that clear on that one. For a 12, ooh, this is a great question. Do you feel bookish adaptations like Fourth Wing, ACOTAR, and TOG Throne of Glass would be better served in an animation style a la Castlevania, Blue-Eyed Samurai, or Arcane?
I feel it's hard because I like the simplicity of like Castlevania, but also like I love how much texture there is to Arcane, and like there's just so much like little details in it. I feel like that would really be able to like bring these worlds to life.
Yeah.
Just giving that much attention to detail and like the small little things, especially with all of like the battle scenes and things. I feel like it would be really cool to see a super artistic take on it like that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, this is it's crazy. I'm my millennial is showing in that the older I get, I feel like the more childlike I'm getting, because it's like all of these and revisiting so many of these things that I enjoyed as a kid, like anime or animated stories. I don't think I fully appreciated the variation and the art styles within the subgenres, and how much that in and of itself has a language, like you were talking about texture and how colors and things tell a story. It's really wild. That's a really great point. Yeah, you're so smart. Give us another roll.
Got a 6.
A 6. For 6, this is from Anonymous. Is your artistry with makeup something you acquired yourself, or did someone teach you?
Yep, it was all self-taught.
Did you so with SFX, were you doing anything with that in a professional capacity, or was this all just a vocation, a craft that you were really just enjoyed it and were teaching yourself?
Yeah, it was really just like, again, bringing up the hyperfixations. I was like, ooh, this is cool. I want to try doing this. And that's pretty much how everything I do kind of has been through my life, is I'm just like, ooh, that's cool. I want to try it. See if I can do it. So it was one of those. And then the more I got into it, I was like, okay, wait, this is really fun. I'm going to keep doing this. But
I love that. Cool. Oh man, yeah, that's okay. See, hyperfixations, it's like, remember when we all got taught these things were like character flaws, and then you realize like strengths and weaknesses are all just domain specific. It's the best thing like RPGs ever taught me, is I was like, oh, everything's a strength or a weakness in a certain context. Like, it's wild. Next roll.
Got a 14.
14. Boom. No repeats yet. This is so exciting. We have, I'm 14. Okay, real talk. Who is, do you have like a go-to romance in Baldur's Gate 3?
Probably Karlach.
Yes, Sean.
Like, I love Asterion, but he kind of annoys me sometimes. Karlach, I love her so much.
What's not to love? It's like,
exactly.
I never realized being called soldier could make me feel like this, but it's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, that game is brutal. I was like, what do you mean I can't touch you? They understood the assignment completely.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
completely understood the assignment. Whenever you're ready.
Another 6.
Another 6. Ooh, we get to go 2 deep. Let's go. Oh, where's my little... number 6, we have... 1, 2, 3, 6. This comes from Ashley. Did you have a favorite book series as a child?
So here's the funny thing. When I was younger, I despised reading. Especially because, like, with school, I was having to read all these boring books, and I was like, I don't like reading. And my sister, she's super big reader, always has been. She's always tried to get me to read all these, like, books and series that she's been into. I was just never able to get into them. And then last year in June, she was explaining ACOTAR to me, the first book, and she was like, you should try and read it. I think this would be a book that you would actually be able to get into. So I read about the first 10 chapters on a vacation, and then didn't pick it up again until October. And then within the next month, I'd finished the whole series. It just, like, grasped my attention. And then ever since that point, I've just been reading everything.
Wow. Yeah, that was very similar kind of to my experience. Well, it was different in that I was a pretty avid reader as a kid, and then I don't know, school has a way of beating that out of you. It's like, not to be too dramatic, but it's kind of like you get sent to Endovir, you know what I mean? And it's like, it just kind of like sucks your soul dry, and then it's like you get to rediscover these things, or even discover them for the first time as an adult, because man, it's weird, these prescribed books that we get forced to read, and it's like, it's an important book, and I'm like, is it? Why? Because a bunch of old white men said that this other old white guy's book is important? Sorry, I'm just like, sometimes it's wild. Reading this book, and even as a high schooler, I'm starting to think this is actually not a very good book. This is this weird lie, this weird conspiracy we keep perpetuating. Like, why are we holding on to this book? It's nuts. Ren, I'm so glad we're reading enjoyable things. Go ahead and give us your next roll.
Got an 11.
An 11. Well, listen, I'm on my way to becoming an old white guy, Zach. So you and me both. We'll just we'll start a club, because that's what we need. Was that 11?
Yes.
11. this is anonymous. Do you have a background in performing?
So I do actually. When I was in high school, I did musicals and I was in drama. I've done dance for like my entire life. I've done a lot of things in the arts. And when I was younger, my sister was also into theater and everything. When I was younger, I was super insecure, and so I saw her getting into the higher up classes, and I was like, I wasn't getting into the higher up like theater classes, and so I was like, okay, so maybe I'm not good enough. So I dropped out of theater after like 2 years. But it's been nice having cosplay to kind of bring that back and be able to like act out these scenes from the books and just kind of like rediscover that side of myself and be like, okay, wait, maybe I'm kind of good at this. I wish I had like kept it going. But yeah, so I do have a decent amount of performance stuff under my belt.
I mean, that's so clear, but it's really cool to hear that. That's amazing. And I think so relatable, right? You know, I think there's a lot to be said also about so much of performance arts and how we've institutionalized them, and it kind of creates this scarcity mentality, like that's by design. And Maddie and I were talking the other day about how cosplay is one of these really cool art forms that is in this pocket of it still feels like the artist has ownership over it. Like you really can bring yourself to it, and they're I mean, we can bring scarcity into anything, right? Like we all know there are problems and drama even in the cosplay world, right? Lots of them, but you know, I feel like it's a lot easier to be abundant. Man, that's so cool. So you danced as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you still dance?
I haven't in a while. There's a couple classes that I'm considering going to because, again, my sister, we are very similar people. She actually went to college to teach dance. And so there have been a couple times where I've been able to like go to one of her classes with her. So like I do it here and there, but I don't really do anything with it anymore. Yeah. But yeah.
Do you have a preferred style? I'm asking so many follow-up questions.
Oh,
Sorry,
you're
I'm just
good.
fascinated.
I definitely like more like modern contemporary, or I absolutely love doing ballroom. The Argentine tango being my favorite.
Okay, yeah. Ren, when we finally get together, it is going to be a goddamn party. I'm so excited. Oh man.
Yes.
So yeah. Argentinian tango swoon. Yep. We're all big simps for you, Ren. It's fine. It's a whole Discord server that simps for you. You're so cool. Ren, Chelsea says Ren is the in real life Nesta. It's fine. So cool. Give us your next roll.
We got another one.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, we absolutely got another one.
Come on, let's go. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's go. All right, where are you? Notes. Okay, Nat 1. Let me randomize this. Give me a number. Ooh. This will be interesting. Here we go. Into the chat. Oh, wait. That was going to be a direct message to somebody else. And sorry, Sammy, that would have been a wild DM to get.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to have to like read this while I'm doing it because otherwise I'm going to forget.
Oh, that happened to me. It's so funny because I was like, "Oh, these are so fun to watch." And I'm like, and then you're in the hot seat, and then you have to do it, and all of a sudden you're like, "Wait, what's my line?" Totally.
Like, wait, I don't remember the words.
Yeah, no, hold on. Cut. I need 5.
Okay. When you lick me, I want to be alone, far away from everyone. Because when you lick me, Feyre, I'm going to let myself roar loud enough to bring down a mountain.
Reese cosplay when? Reese cosplay when?
So I do have a black wig, so I could do a femme Reese. It could happen. I have the purple contacts.
Listen, I am okay. Okay. Yeah. I think we'd all be okay with that. If you wanted to, no pressure or
No
anything.
pressure.
Yeah. Don't just kill this, Ren. Next roll. Just wait till if these are the nat ones, just wait till we get to the nat 20s.
We got a 17.
A 17. We have a 17. Oh, this comes from, I have to scroll over. Jamie. What are you proud of but never have an excuse to talk about?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I feel like, obviously, one of the things I'm most proud of is all my cosplay stuff, and I tend to be able to talk about that a decent amount. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, but in regards to cosplay, while you're pondering, I guess I'll ask a follow-up question. Do you are you an individual that struggles? And this is not a pejorative in any way. Do you struggle to talk about yourself, or like, or think of yourself in terms of like, wow, I'm really good at this, or
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've ever since I was little struggled with like self-image, confidence. I was the kid who like sat in the back corner of the classroom in school. So I'm a super antisocial person. I have a bunch of social anxiety. People scare me, basically. But so definitely have a lot of like, I don't really like to talk myself up because like I don't want people to think that I'm like bragging about myself. So like whenever people ask me, or like obviously in my comments people complimenting me all the time, I'm like thank you, but I'm not. Compliments scare me. I'm like, I don't know how to respond to all of these.
Yeah. Oh, that's so real. It's like, it's hard. I think compliments receiving compliments is kind of this weird, like, not to be super dramatic, but can be like a very potentially traumatic thing that we don't talk about a whole lot. Like, whether it was because of childhood trauma, or like insecurities, or it's just, I imagine, like, especially when you're a creator and have a social media presence at your level, it probably feels like a lot. So yeah, totally. Next roll.
We got a 3.
A 3, another 3. Gotta repeat. Oh, wait, come back. Boom. 3, we have. Oh, if you could, this is from Caitlin. If you could pick between ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, which would you go to?
Ooh, that's hard. Because, like, personally, I think I would thrive in the Night Court. I would love to go to the Night Court. But, like, also, well, and it's hard, because, like, I'd want to say that I would love to go to Terracin, but, like, I don't know. Probably ACOTAR. I want to go to the Night Court. I want to go to Rita's.
Heard. Like, everybody's like, oh, don't get me wrong, I love Throne of Glass, but, like, reading about a world is one thing. Like, actually the prospect of like walking around and surviving in like Rifthold or any of these places, I'm like, I've read this book, and just knowing me, this doesn't end well for me. I'm gonna last all of about 5 seconds. It'd be like Connor in the Undercity. It would like, it's just, that's not gonna end well. Self-awareness is a thing. But yeah, Prithian. Are you kidding me? Polaris, we'd all go out, we'd have a nice dinner, we'd all go like have drinks and dance it up at Rita's. You'd introduce the Argentinian tango from Earth. Like, come on.
100%.
Absolutely. I would thrive in the night court is big confidence. I like it. That came from Zach. Yeah, no, you absolutely would. Next roll.
You got a 13.
13, lucky number 13. Woo. Oh, this came from Anonymous. As a big influencer in this space, do you feel that your large following has made your life harder / added anxiety in any way?
Absolutely. Because, like, when I had a super small platform, it was kind of more of just like, oh, I post when I have time. I post just like when it's fun, when I feel like doing it. Now it very much feels like a second job. I'm like, oh, I'm running out of content. I have to make more content. And me being the perfectionist that I am, I don't like posting two of the same characters right next to each other. I like it kind of being all mixed up. So I'm like, okay, I only have Nesta content left. I need to make content of somebody else so I can mix it up a little bit. So it's definitely added the anxiety of like, okay, this night I have to cosplay this character, and this night, and oh, I can't go out with these people tomorrow because I have to do this. So it's definitely stirred some stuff up, but I have gotten more so to a point where I'm like, it's okay if I don't make content. I need to still live my life, and everybody will understand if I don't have time to make content. Because, like, yeah, I do have a life. Yeah. Content creators aren't just... I mean, some people do it as a job. I don't. So I'm like, I have this life outside of content creating, and I know everybody would understand that. But me being me, I'm like, I want to give people the content, and I need to be able to make time for it. So it definitely has added some anxieties for sure.
Yeah, it's wild, you know. I definitely I felt that as well. I got I remember it was August and September of last year. I got a little crazy. I got a little goofy. I got a little weird because all of a sudden you're like, you get this weird sense of urgency, right? Like it's I have to, like I have to, or they need this, or they're going to be like, who is they? Like, yeah. and especially when it's like no one's been saying anything, but it's this weird, like, I don't know where it comes from, but like everything you just said is so real. I feel that. I feel that on a fundamental level. Yeah. I just finding ways to keep the joy even as the success comes. Totally. You got it, Allie. Absolutely. Will you give us another roll, Ren?
Of course. Got an 18.
18. Perfect. There we go. 18. Let me grab that over there. Okay. This is from Anonymous, although I really want to know who you are. How would your child adolescent self feel about the person you are today?
Oh, they'd probably be shocked for sure. They'd be like, wait, I'm that now? Because as I kind of mentioned, when I was a kid, super self-conscious, I was very much I have to fit in with everybody else. I have to look like everybody else so nobody thinks I'm weird. But cosplay especially has helped me grow a level of confidence that I never had before. And I have slowly, like, come more into who I really am. I've like started wearing clothes that I actually want to wear rather than wearing what's like trending. Or I cut my hair into a mullet, even though people are like, oh, girls have to have long hair. But I was like, I want to get a mullet, I'm gonna get a mullet. Or like just the way I present myself now with changing my pronouns to she, they rather than just she, her, because I also have a very religious family who is kind of super strict about everything that's not normal. So I've always been kind of scared to like show myself how I feel on the inside, but cosplaying especially and finding this community of people has really helped me kind of come out of my shell and more so develop into who I really feel like I am.
Man, I love that. Thank you for sharing. I'm actually going to, I ran across this question and it ties into this. So I'm going to ask a follow-up question. I'm going to bend the rules a little bit. The question I have to go. Well, no, it was along the lines of they asked about, you cosplay a wide variety of different characters from a lot of different subject matter, from video games to anime to books, movies, film, and the question had to do with especially when you find yourself gender bending, or playing a different maybe, or like embodying a lot of different genders and different lived experiences or walks of life. Has that deepened your sense of self? And you kind of already answered this a little bit, but I was wondering if you would talk about, like, maybe say more on that sense of self that's deepened through cosplay.
Yeah.
I always find it interesting that through embodying other people, we discover more about ourselves. And I was just curious if you would kind of talk
Yeah.
about your journey with that.
Oh, absolutely. Especially back when I first started, I mainly only cosplayed male characters because I was doing a lot of anime stuff right at the beginning. So it was mainly just a bunch of male anime characters, which at the time I was very strictly she, her. I was like, this is what I need to be. And just in cosplaying either male characters or like gender neutral characters, it was a way for me to kind of like express myself in a way that I couldn't in my normal life. It was very much a form of escapism that I had, which I think is super important for anybody that kind of feels trapped in where they're at. It was a form, it was a way that I could not only like show my artistic abilities, but also kind of have people perceive me how I wished to be perceived since I couldn't genuinely like show myself that way.
Mhm.
But yeah, it definitely helped me kind of be more confident in how I want to be seen, and just that, like you were saying, that sense of self really just did deepen with now I'm like I could go either way. And one of my biggest things is if somebody isn't okay with how they're perceiving me, if they're like, "Oh, you're a girl. You're not anything else. You're a girl." I'm like, "Okay, that's your opinion, but I don't want to surround myself with you. So you can keep those thoughts to yourself, but I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing if you don't like it." Oh well. But
Man.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's I think that's the final level of Super Saiyan, right? Like that's the final form, is like is realizing that, oh, I don't. George Surratt says it in the musical Sunday in the Park with George. He was like, he turns to that critic and goes, I'm not, because I don't paint for you. Like, I'm not, I don't live for you.
Yeah.
And when we all wake up and realize that, it's such a liberating thing, man. Self-expression, I never realized self-expression and frolicking would be such an act of rebellion. Like, I had no idea that just attempting to live authentically would be seen as such a threat to our society writ large. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us,
Yeah.
Ren. Go ahead and give us another roll when you're ready.
Got a 10.
A 10. We have got. Oh, this is from me. I forgot to highlight that one. That's not a 10 either. I keep a little highlight system in my, and I was looking at I was looking at the wrong number. What is your favorite series and why? This comes from Lexi.
Throne of Glass.
Hmm.
I Oh,
Oh
that's
no.
so hard. My tooth, the tooth. She just left my mouth.
Oh,
We're
I
gonna
see. Well, the
we're
fang's
just
just
gonna take those
retracted.
out. That way I can talk more normally too.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
great.
Throne of Glass, for sure. It There's just so much shoved into it. Like, obviously, like, it's an 8-book series. So, like, there's a lot in there, but, like, the amount that's just packed into there, because, like, there's the world building that's just, like, insane. Like, there's world building in all fantasy series, but the world building that's in Throne of Glass is just so intricate. and there's just so many tiny little storylines thrown in there, but you get attached to all of them. Like, because I read ACOTAR first and then I read Throne of Glass. And what I will always say to people is like, reading ACOTAR is like reading a YA book, and then reading Throne of Glass is like reading like the dictionary. Like, it's so drastically different because, like, especially after reading Throne of Glass, going back and reading ACOTAR, I'm like, this just seems so easy compared to Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is just so, there's just so much put into it. And you can just tell how much heart she put into it when she was writing it, that I I have so much love for Throne of Glass.
Uh, I am totally with you. I get asked that question a lot as well, and it's this. Yeah, ACOTAR. I was tell this story that ACOTAR was very healing, right? Like it was this gateway. It was beautiful. Like Mist and Fury is forever going to be this book that has a really special place in my heart because it started so much of this for me and authentic living for me. But I think about Throne of Glass and the things happening in that book at least 3 times a day, especially
Oh,
like
yeah.
when I think about like current events and like I just look out my window, whether it's my virtual window or my literal window, and I'm like, wow, this book series just feels like it's getting more
Yeah.
relevant, not like
Well, and like it's funny because so I finished Throne of Glass in January of this year, and it's 1000% my Roman Empire. I think about it all day, every day. Like moments will like randomly like click in my head, things will come together and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think about that before," just constantly. And it's funny cuz my sister just finished it. And like I explained to her how it's just like constantly in your head. And so then when she finished it, the next day she was like, "It won't leave my head." And I'm like, "It never will." It will always just be residing there forever, always.
do you think that's like the mark of a good story though? Like it just I think about these things that I'll just be walking down the street and something will hit me, right?
Yep.
Like a connection that'll happen. I could already tell that's what's happening with me with Arcane because even like no shit, as I came in here and sat down, I literally had the thought of like, sorry, spoilers for Arcane, but like Jinx's like cloud tattoos because I was like, that was such an interesting choice. Why? Because the first thing I saw in my brain immediately went, why clouds? And then I remembered that when she gets like shoved out and she's falling back, and that like that's that image she sees of like all that
Yep.
arcane. And sorry, but TLDR gang. But stories are what makes the world go around. We need them. We need good stories. They're examples of what is possible. Yeah, so I totally agree with you. Like Throne of Glass is just the themes we're dealing with in there are so meaty and relevant, and
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell heart and soul in that. That's her like magnum opus. Next roll,
We got another six.
another six. Woo! Oh, where is it? Another six. We've got this comes from this comes from Ashley. Besides cosplaying, what are your favorite hobbies?
I love to paint. I actually a lot of the things on my wall. I have my art like all over the place. But I love painting. That's like the one thing I have in common with Feyre. Um, I love to paint. I have been painting ever since I was little. So I actually have autism. So I've always been very hands-on. Like when I was younger, like I love doing puzzles, I love doing art, like anything that like really put my mind like to something. I just always need to be doing things with my hands because I also have ADHD. It's a very annoying pairing. But art is just a very good way for me to kind of like calm myself down and just kind of relax if I've had like a super stressful day or something. It's just a way for me to just concentrate on one thing and just kind of create something and just it's very relaxing. Yeah, I love
Oh
painting.
man, oh that's I love that. Yeah, I it's great because I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD until I was an adult. I always tell this. My mom is amazing. I love her with every. But when my teachers were like, you should It's that oh my God, who is the SNL skit where it's the Hispanic mother and she's like, my son don't have ADD. He just like to bounce off the walls. And that was my mom. She just wouldn't
Yep.
hear of it. So yeah, it's this late. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden my entire life makes sense. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Next roll.
Got 15.
15. Ooh, Anonymous would like to know, is there something physical or non-physical that you are particularly drawn to / notice when you meet someone?
Their eyes. I
Mm.
I'm a sucker for really pretty eyes. Like, and it's funny because a lot of people are like, "Oh, pretty eyes are only like blue eyes or like green eyes," and I'm like, "No, brown eyes can be pretty too." But like, there's just something about like people's facial expressions and how they express themselves. You can tell through their eyes. But the other funny thing is, I hate eye contact. Like, I'm not good at making eye contact with people. But like, I love seeing how people express themselves because you can't really hide things very well in your eyes. Like
Mm.
when you're watching somebody, like when you're like conversing with them or watching them talk to somebody, like you can tell what they're really like thinking or like how they're really feeling when you're watching their eyes rather than just like I mean there's also like body posture and like whatnot, but you can't really hide things from in your eyes. So eyes have always just kind of been so fascinating to me. So that's probably the first thing that like draws me in to somebody.
Oh
But
man, I love that. Yeah, that's so real. It's a cliche, but I remember, I think it was in an art class when I first heard like eyes are the window to the soul.
yep.
And I feel like the older you get, the more true that rings. It's like the
Oh,
eyes don't lie,
absolutely.
man. Eyes don't
Yeah.
lie. Yeah. Oh, great answer. Next roll. We're just cruising.
Got a 15.
15. Oh, I got the sheet. There we go. We have got. Oh, what is your favorite color? This is from Aussie Angel again.
Technically, if I could, I would say black, but of course there's the people that are like black isn't a color. So if I had to pick a genuine color, it would be green. Because
Oh,
there are the annoying people who are like black isn't a color, and I'm like, technically, no, it's not, but it is.
you
So
know
green or
what?
black?
Listen, I remember this was so stupid. I got asked this in an interview once, and I answered with black because I just felt like I looked good, and in my brain, I was like, yes, but it's a shade, and black and gray and white shade, like whatever. Like you still need all of the like mixing all the colors together. What do you get? You get black, right?
Exactly.
Like so, I was like, okay, whatever. And it was this group style interview, and somebody was like, well, if you know, and I'd also gotten asked like what Hogwarts house. This was back like in 2011, and they were like, "Well, I guess we can rule out Ravenclaw because if you were a real Ravenclaw, you wouldn't have answered with black because
Oh
that's a
my
shade, not a
lord.
color." And like every they were all upperclassmen in this college. Everybody was laughing, and I just remember being like, "I hate it here." But yeah, wild. But green, yeah, green. What you can't go wrong with green.
No.
So good. Yeah, yeah. Next roll.
Got 13.
13. Lucky number 13, Manon. Let's see, wing leader. We've got ooh. Is there nope, that's oh, where did it go? This is from Jamie. Do you think if anything is possible, it's still possible for anything to be impossible? Jamie is our resident shit stirrer. So this is I love you, Jamie.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
Because, like, Yeah, people always say like anything is possible, but of course there will always be circumstances where things aren't. Like as much as I would love to be positive and be like, yes, everything's possible and it's possible, but in all reality, there are times where things just are not possible. And majority of those times are because of how our society is. Whether it's money restrictions or anything along those lines, like there are just times where things aren't possible, and a lot of it is because of just how our society has framed itself. But
Mm, great answer. God, do you want to write a book too? You want to like add that to your list? Because I'd read the shit out of that.
I don't know if that would be any good.
No, it would be great. Final roll. Let's do it.
Let's see if we can get
Yeah.
a 20 at some point. Like, if there's any time for it, it's right now.
Hmm. Is it a one?
It's
Is it a one? Let's go. Let's go. Oh, the mother has blessed us. The mother has blessed us this evening. Mother is eating. Let's go. All right, we
I
are going
said I was
to
excited for the ones, and they just decided to come through.
you girl, you manifested that into
I did.
existence. Like for real. Okay, here we go. Last randomizer. Um You know, gang, I didn't realize the two that I put into the thing today would get selected. Like, what is happening? Um, I, I actually kind of low key love that we're ending on this one. Not a book one, but definitely a cosplay that you've done before. So here we go.
What's so funny is I like to repeat this line to my sister all the time just to annoy her. I can try and do the voice. I don't know if it's gonna work very well.
Listen, you just do however you feel like
We're,
you want to
we're
embody
just
this line.
yeah. This body was made to be exploited. I got the arms, I got the stamina, I got the legs, I got the lung capacity. Oh, I got the legs.
Let's go. Oh, Ren, you are an absolute rock star. They were nat ones for you, but they were nat 20s for us. You are an absolute gem. Um, wow, gang, there you go. You got Aspen Hotel and Arcane spice. Like, let's if I don't see some kissing in this season 2 of Arcane, I'm gonna riot. That's what I'm gonna do. If I don't see some by Caitlyn moves,
Yes,
I will be very disappointed.
I will be throwing hands.
Yeah, you are a gem of a human being. So even though you didn't get a chance to roll an nat 20, Maddie and I have a nat 20 for you, a little bardic inspiration. And so if you'll bear me patience, I think I'm just going to read this to you, and you'll sit there and probably feel very uncomfortable as I give you this as I give you this compliment. Here we go. So this one is for me. It's the super long one because I'm extra like that. I fell in love with cosplay in this community for many reasons. The artistry, the community, the healing potential, and confidence it builds. It's an art, as much as painting, sculpting, music, or acting. When friends or family ask what makes a great cosplayer, it's hard for me to put down into words. A big part of it is the artistry. The best cosplayers in the world are truly jacks of all trades. They're makeup artists and craftspeople and fashion and costume designers. They are savvy entrepreneurs and master video audio editors. They are artificers and mages and bards and sewing masters. The very best have an uncanny ability to walk a magic line between embodying the essence of a character while also bringing their unique, powerful, dynamic selves to it. They let their individuality and uniqueness shine through and meld with the character. They understand it's not just about being exactly correct, but also using their inherent magic to expand and deepen our understanding of the character and the story. I'm now thrilled to know that instead of having to write and speak all that bullshit, I can simply direct people to Ren Johnson. They perfectly embody everything that made me fall in love with this. Their skill and craft and artistry is on display in every cosplay and every post. But what makes Ren really stand out is their ability to drop into the essence of a character they are portraying. In a 15 to 30-second video, I watch Ren do what many actors can't do with a 2+ hour script. With one look or gesture, Ren fully embodies the contradiction and multitudes, the strengths and vulnerabilities of a character. They do all of this and still manage to grace us with a glimpse into who they are. Their bravery is on full display when they choose to let themselves shine through these characters, and by doing so, we are all rewarded with a deeper understanding of them. Long story short, they're amazing, and we're really lucky they're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, not to make you super uncomfortable, you just are an absolute gem, and I think you are phenomenal. So it's wild. It was wild to hear that there was a time where you felt deeply insecure about yourself as a performer. Which I'm sorry, but it also thrills me because I'm like, honestly, thank God, because there's like that, oh, she's human. They're human. Like, that's amazing. And then this one from Maddie as well. Ren, you are pure light, and let's be honest, sultry darkness too. The artistry you put out into the world is truly extraordinary. I so deeply admire your courage in sharing the wide range of characters you choose to inhabit. Every video I see, my jaw is on the damn floor. but more than that, you lift this community up in a way I don't see many others do. You not only share your art unapologetically, but you inspire so many others to do the same. Thank you for you. We love you.
Oh, you guys are too sweet to me.
And I will I'll also be sending other Nat 20s your way that were submitted that you can peruse on your own time, so you don't have to sit here and be ogled at while we just shower you with praise. Seriously, you are an absolute gem. I knew you were going to be incredible, and then, as always, you exceeded my very high expectations. So thank you so much for being here. The world is a better place because you're in it. And it's a privilege to be in this space with you. In the words of Casablanca, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for being here. Gang, thank you for tuning in. The world is a better place because you're all in it. Live read on Friday. What's going on? We're here. Here we are in the tandem read. We've got Aylin. We're in Skulls Bay. She is a consummate politician, man. Sending out that warning flare. Sending out that warning flare to force Rolf's hand. I was like, damn.
Aylin in Skulls Bay it's my favorite. It's so good.
I am just shook. I'm on the edge of my seat. You have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this seriously.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Gang, have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you later.